I can hear you perfectly. No worries.
Okay.
So you are an ex-Muslim, you said. So
Yes.
can you tell me a bit about that? Yeah, go ahead.
Okay,
Tell me a
so
bit
basically,
about that.
the one thing, I love Islam because my family's Muslims and I have a deep respect for it. I just one day woke up and I realized I didn't believe in God, and I investigated on why I didn't. I just didn't just follow that urge and go with it, you know? And there were a few things, which is why like my family encouraged me to speak with you, because they believe
Mm,
that the sources I'm getting information from are kind of like false sources, or they're
mm-hmm,
distorting Islam. So one
mm-hmm.
of them being the view of women in
Yeah,
Islam.
before, okay, no worries. I just before we go into questions, I like just to start with an introduction, understanding where you
Okay.
come from first, right?
So
So you are, yeah, you said you just woke up one day and you stopped believing in God.
so it was like a slow transition, but there was a morning that I remember waking up and I was going to
Uh-huh.
pray, and I was just like, wow, I just don't believe in this. Like it just like
Sure,
doesn't click with me, you know?
sure. And you realize that whether Islam is true or not, because the case that what you are about to present is to do with Islam. Whether Islam is true or not, God's
Mm-hmm.
existence is a completely different question. There are
Yeah.
like tens of other religions that also believe in God, but they don't believe in
Yeah.
Islam. So to think that Islam has an issue doesn't mean that God doesn't exist. So to say
Yeah.
that you woke up one day and you believe God is not there, you can say I woke up one day and I believe that Islam is not true anymore because
No,
of these things.
maybe I
But to
misspoke
say
because I definitely believe in God. I just am not convinced that it's the
you believe in
Islamic
God,
God. Yeah.
okay, so there is a God, but
There is
Is
a
the
God,
Islamic
yeah.
God that you're saying? Okay, sure. So, all right, all right. So, can I ask what's your background? What country?
Somalia.
Okay, Somalia. So I'm assuming you know about Islam. If I were to ask you a question about Islam, you'd be able to answer. You practiced
Yeah.
it. You went to
I'm
pray
very
and
much
stuff
a
like this.
layman. I'm very much a layman, but most questions you'd ask me, I'd be able to answer.
Okay, no worries. So go ahead and tell me what are these. I'm not going to ask you too much on verifying whether you're an ex-Muslim or not, because I do feel that you are actually. But I'm going to go more forward with your questions. So go ahead
Okay.
and tell me.
So
Um,
one thing that I
um,
really, sorry, I interrupted you, sorry. But one
no
thing I
worries. I was
really
just going to say go
struggled
ahead with your questions. Yeah.
One thing I really struggled with was there's a verse saying, Elahi, he guides whom he wills, he leads astray whom he wills, right? And so
Hmm.
I wanted to know your interpretation of that verse because it
Hmm.
was pretty discouraging when I'm already struggling with my faith. And then I'm reading
Hmm.
that maybe God decided to lead me astray. And if God's
Hmm.
leading me astray, how do I come back, you know?
Hmm. Okay, so what did you understand by this verse? What's your understanding that you have
Basically,
you think the verse
is
is saying?
that, God can either open your heart to Islam or he can close it from Islam. And once he closes it, there's no coming back.
So your understanding is if Allah, for example, sees someone without anything, one day he just misguides that person. Is that what you're telling? What you're saying?
I
Is
think
that what
that
you think the
there's
verse means?
things I think that there's things that somebody can do to warrant being misguided.
Sure.
I don't think that it's something that like I don't think that, for example, he would just like, oh, I just don't like her, so I'm gonna misguide her, you know? I think
Hmm.
that if you have to commit a certain level of evil or something to be misguided, but the
Hmm.
Islamic definition of evil is different than what other people might see as evil in a day to day, you know what I mean?